this is Holly from Rubber Redneck. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to a Rubber Redneck video tutorial. Today's video, I will be demonstrating my October 2016 customer promotion. Place any order through my Stampin' Up! Online store from October 1st to the 31st, 2016, and you'll receive this spooky fun card in the mail from me. You'll also receive the mini PDF for this project that I will email to you. Be sure to not select no contact when you're checking out, otherwise I will not be able to mail you any of the promotions that your order may qualify for. Another promotion I also have for the month of October, when you place a minimum of $25 or more before shipping and tax, you will receive a brand new roll of the basic black solid baker's twine from me as well. For more details, visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com. I also have the list of supplies I used to create this project so that you can purchase them if you are interested as well. And if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button. If you're new to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to it so you don't miss out on any of the fantastic projects that I share. This month's project is featuring the Spooky Fun Stamp Set. This is in our holiday catalog. This is a really cute and fun Halloween set. And it also has a matching framelit with it too, called the Edgelits Halloween Scenes. And they don't come on the magnetic sheets. I purchased the magnetic sheets separate and put them on there to help me for storing. They do come in this little plastic envelope on some cardstock, thick, heavy chipboard that they come on. I love that we get these envelopes. So this is the front view of the card, and then when you open it up, here is the inside view. How cute is that card, and so perfect for Halloween. You want to cut one piece of pumpkin pie cardstock, and you want to cut that at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then you're going to place it onto your Simply Scored scoring tool and score it at 5 1/2. Fold it over on your scored line and crease that down with your bone folder. Now you've created your card base, and you want to set this aside for a second. You want to cut one piece of smoky slate cardstock at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Once you have that cut, you're going to want your stamping pierce mat and a piece of paper to cover your stamping pierce mat. And then you're going to need your little ghosts from the stamp set along with the smoky slate ink pad. And the reason for covering the stamping pierce mat is because our inks are a little bit more, they're a little wet, so you do have the possibility of transferring that to your cardstock. So I really recommend just cut a piece of copy paper, lay it on there, protect your surface, and then you can't get it on any of your other pieces of cardstock accidentally. And now this is also a photopolymer stamp, so the stamping pierce mat will help you get a crisper image on your cardstock. I know some people have said that they sometimes have problems getting the ink to transfer, so that's a solution I have for you there. So you're just going to tap your stamp in your ink pad, and then we're going to start stamping our little ghosts randomly. And one thing to note, when you are stamping your ghosts, hold that stamp onto your cardstock for a second longer than what you would normally do with like the red rubber stamps. And then the ink will transfer to your cardstock. When you're all done, this is what your little background will look like once you get those ghosts stamped. Then you want to cut one piece of the Halloween Night Specialty Designer Series paper, and you want that dots pattern. And you're going to cut that at 3 inches by 3 1/2. Once you have that cut, we're going to glue this to the smoky slate cardstock. Now this is some fun new Halloween paper in our holiday catalog. I really like this paper a lot. So this will be available only for a limited time, so make sure that you don't wait to order that if it's on your wish list. You're going to want to cut one piece of basic gray cardstock at 2 1/2 by 4 1/2, and then you're going to need your stamping pierce mat again along with your copy paper. You're going to need your basic gray ink pad and then our little witch stamp here. You're going to tap the stamp in the ink pad, and then we're going to stamp right onto the basic gray cardstock. And you want to just stamp randomly on this to make our custom background paper. So that's what it'll look like once you have that all stamped there. And then we're going to glue this to the center of our cardstock here. You want to cut one piece of the Halloween Night Specialty Designer Series paper in the bats pattern at 1.5 by 4 inches. And then we're just going to glue this going right across the center of our layers here. Then you're going to want some of that basic black solid baker's twine. Now this is one of my customer promos for this month. I just love baker's twine. And you're just going to wrap this around there twice. And I did not give a measurement on this. It's going to vary from person to person. And you want to remember to also, we're going to be tying a knot on the right side here. And when I tie this knot, what I do is I go around all the layers of string there, each string, so I can catch them all together. And then I just tie a knot. And then just trim off the excess. And then there is the solid basic black baker's twine. Then you want to cut one piece of basic black cardstock, and you're going to cut this at 2.5 by 2.5. Then you're going to zip it through the Big Shot with our layering Squares Framelits. Now our square framelits come with 2 different sizes here. And again, I put them on the magnet sheet. They do not come that way. And then I add my little label, so for organization for me. These are really fun to work with. So you're going to zip that basic black cardstock through the Big Shot with those square framelits to die cut that out. Cut one piece of old olive cardstock at 2.25 by 2.25, and you're going to zip that through the Big Shot with the layering square framelits using the scallop one. How fun is that? And then cut one piece of Whisper White cardstock, and you want to cut that at 2.25 by 2.25 and zip that through the Big Shot with the layering Squares Framelits again. And what they do is they're like a little bit off, so you get just this fun little border around the edge once you layer those together. I just love that. It's so fun. Then you're going to want your Stamping Pierce mat again with your sheet, and then that Whisper White square that you die cut out. And then we're going to want our little Happy Halloween and our Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. And you're going to ink this up, and then you're going to stamp onto the bottom of your Whisper White square here. So you have your little Happy Halloween. Then you want to cut one piece of Whisper White cardstock, and you're going to cut that at 1 inch by 2 inches. And for this one, you're going to need your little pumpkins, and then the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad again. And then you're going to stamp this right in the center of that Whisper White cardstock. So then your piece will look like that when you're done. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to zip this piece through our Big Shot with those Halloween Scenes Edgelits to die cut out our pumpkins. So you're going to need your Big Shot for this. And then we're going to build our sandwich. So you're going to need your multi-purpose platform, a little thin die adapter, a cutting plate, and you'll notice mine is really cut up and everything, but it still works for me. I pretty much keep using them until they break. Lay your cardstock with your image face up, and then you want that little pumpkin framelit from the Halloween scenes, and we're just going to lay that on there and line this up. And then we're going to put another cutting pad on top. Now this is where the whole building your sandwich comes in. You just built that sandwich. And then we're going to zip that right through the big shot, die cutting that out. And then we're going to color this in. And we want our blender pen. And I'm going to use also my Stampin' Pierce mat again, just to help with some stiffness on the back and get it a little bit up off of my board here. And then we want the pumpkin pie ink pad. And we're going to use the blender pen. And when you use your blender pen, every time make sure that you check it to make sure it's not got another color of ink on there. I always clean mine out afterwards, but sometimes when they set for a while, they still have like a little bit of ink in there. So remember to do that. Then we're just going to take the blender pen and color right into the ink that I've pressed on the cover. And then we're just going to start coloring the pumpkin. And you just color it like basically like you have a crayon in your hand. And then I always like to highlight my images, so I always dip my blender pen in the darker one and don't scribble it out. And then go back along the edges and add that darker looking ink. And as this dries, it will soften up, but it does highlight your lines where you want like a shadow to be. And then if you have anywhere where you need to fill in your ink, the color on the pumpkin, I just run that out on some scratch paper and then color again on the pumpkin. And then we're going to clean it and we're going to color the stems in the old olive now. Just color in your stems with the old olive. And clean out your blender pen. So now your pumpkin is ready to go. And then next we're going to need that spider stamp. And we're going to need our little Whisper White square. We're going to place this on there like that. And then we are going to need our Tuxedo Black ink pad again. And we're going to stamp the little spider up here in the top right corner. And you want to place your pumpkins on there so you know how far to go down. So look like that. And then once you have your pumpkins or your little spider stamped, we want to color that in with the Smoky Slate ink. So we're going to need that Smoky Slate ink again and your blender pen. Check your blender pen and then just color in your spider. How cute is that? I personally do not like spiders. They kind of freak me out, but they are pretty cute on your stamping projects. So then once you have that part done, we're ready to start assembling this whole entire project. You're going to need your stamping dimensionals, and you're just going to cut off a little piece off the edge here. And we're going to place that onto the back of the pumpkin. And then you want to attach your pumpkin right above the Happy Halloween. And then we're going to glue these layers together. And then once you have your layers glued together, you want to glue your Smoky Slate card layer here to the front of your pumpkin pie cardstock. And then we're going to take two stamping dimensionals and place that onto the back of the basic black. And we want to attach this to the center of our card. And I just slid it under the tail here so that I didn't cover that up. And then place that right in the center. And then to finish off the front of the card, we have these enamel dots called Halloween Night. And they're pumpkin pie, old olive, and perfect plum. And I just love these. They're so fun to use on any project. But we're going to place one down here in the bottom right corner on the Halloween Night Specialty Designer Series paper. So there's the front of our card. Now for the inside of the card, I kept it pretty simple. And I thought it was cute to add the little ghosts again. Cut 1 piece of smoky slate cardstock at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Cut 1 piece of whisper weight cardstock at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. You'll need your stamping pierce mat again, and then we're going to need our little ghosts stamp and our smoky slate ink pad again. And then we're going to just tap this in the ink pad, and you want to stamp it in the bottom right corner. Then once you have that stamped, we're going to glue the layers together here. And then you want to just place this right in the center of that smoky slate cardstock, and then place this inside your card. I like to send out Halloween cards every year to family, friends, and they also work great to send to your neighbors. If you have coworkers, you can also give them a little card too. This is a really easy one to recreate, and anybody can seriously do it, even if you're new to stamping. Be sure to visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, to find out all the details about my customer promotions. Feel free to contact me if you have questions or need help placing an order. Just send me an email. Thank you again for watching.